Hi everyone. It's been a while since I don't come live so much, but I just thought that I should. So yesterday, so this was since I write reviews about a lot of the movies which I watch. Yesterday I watched a movie which was Three of Us, and it's a movie about a lady who goes to a place like her where she spent her childhood, and childhood is the most formative years of your life. And sorry for this orange face because I'm sitting in front of a heater. So when I watched that movie, I didn't have much expectations because I thought it would be something which I have already watched before. For example, the actors, I have seen them before um, in the other TV series and movies like Ajib Dastans, for example. And although I had expectations कि हाँ acting अच्छी होगी, but story इतना amazing होगा ये मैंने नहीं सोचा था. And why is it also something which was very very nice. So I didn't think that I would actually write about it because uh, it was so it was a different thing for me personally because मैंने ये already कर लिया है अपनी life में एक बार. So although the whole movie is so more than pure poetic, it's so symbolic. uh, the very fact that when she speaks, when it's told, and a lot of people who have reviewed it have said that it's the story of a lady who is going through early dementia, which is forgetfulness. But when I even found symbolism in that, uske dementia maybe, the symbolism which I thought was that the fact that it said that there's this lady who's going through early dementia. I think a lot of people in our generation is going through the same thing, which is, if not dementia, then escapism, right? So the way people deal with their life, which is when they don't want to look at things, they just push it under the rug, or they think ki we'll be able to delete it and like it never happened, and they're okay with it instead of trying to resolve. So when I did the same thing 2 years back, what I did was ki I have spent my childhood and a good part of my life in Jamshedpur, and it is so close to my heart. It is so close to my heart. It's like my first love, which I will never forget. Like the most impactful moments of my life were in Jamshedpur. So, and also when I watched the movie, I was actually reliving my entire journey जो मैंने 2 साल पहले किया था. It was because um, we don't talk so much about this, and I didn't think that anybody would really understand it on the same level as I was feeling it at that point, which was I really needed to go back and see how I was, and like probably try to understand myself better. Also, if you've read Tintern Abbey, which is a poem, right? Poem, sorry. So if you've read Tintern Abbey, you would know how much similar this movie is to that poem, because it's not just about a woman who is having dementia. आप वैसे भी alumni meet के लिए तो जाते ही हो, because you are so attached to even your school, and there are people who fly all the way from US or UK if they've spent their schooling in a particular place just to come back and meet people. So I went to Jamshedpur, and I have done the exact same things which Shailaja does in that movie, which is going to her school, meeting everyone, like even the gardener to the dosa uncle, and clicking a picture with everyone. I went to the toy shop where I got my first doll from. And I remember that there was an Archie's gallery, and Jamshedpur is a very small town. अभी भी वहाँ एयरपोर्ट नहीं है, एंड आई थिंक जानबूझ के नहीं है, और बहुत अच्छी चीज़ है कि नहीं है, क्योंकि उस जगह में जाना भी नहीं चाहिए. हाय सिद्रा, हाय लक्ष्य. So I was talking about my experience, similar experience of um, the three of us, which I had. तो वहाँ पे कोई थ्री नहीं है, but मैं I have done the same things there. So I remember when I was a kid, and I was a notorious kid, and the first time I saw a Barbie doll in a princess dress, and there was a new Archie's gallery in the small town. What I did was, it was too expensive at that point of time for like us also, for even like by Indian standards, it's a very expensive doll, right? So what I did was, I when my parents told me कि नहीं हम नहीं देंगे, तो मैं रोड पे बैठ के और मैं लोटने लग गई थी रो रो के. And I remember it so clearly. It had an impact because I loved that doll and I really wanted it. तो मैं उस वक्त नहीं कर पाई, लेकिन 17 साल बाद मैं उसी आचीज गैलरी में जाके, आई एम सो मैड, आई वेंट टू दैट प्लेस एंड आई गॉट अ बार्बी डॉल जस्ट बिकॉज आई हैड टू फील कि मैंने कर लिया, यू नो. सो स्मॉल थिंग्स लाइक दैट. या आई वेंट टू द house that I had stayed in, which was आज से 17 साल पहले. वहाँ आप कोई और रहता है, and I was looking at my house from outside and it felt like मैं कल यहाँ आई थी. और I went inside and I spoke to the people and I told them कि मैं यहाँ 17 साल पहले रहती थी, यहाँ पे सबसे पहले मैं रही हूँ. तो मैं बस बाहर से अपना घर देख रही थी, एक बार मुझे अंदर से देखना है अगर आप अलाउ करें. एंड मैं अंदर गई एंड आई सॉ द रूम वेयर आई turned from a kid to an adolescent. And I had my first crush in Jamshedpur, and it was with someone who lived in the neighborhood. So I used to see that place from my window every day. I checked that place out, and the garden जहाँ पे I and my parents used to play badminton and all of those things. बचपन की वो सारी चीज़ें, रूम, किचन, पीछे एक तुलसी का पौधा होता था, वो आई थिंक हट गया है, लेकिन वहाँ पे दैट वाज मेड स्पेसिफिकली फॉर जस्ट दैट, एंड वो अभी भी है वहाँ पे. तो दोज थिंग्स आई सॉ एंड हाउ मच इट हैज़ चेंज्ड, हाउ मच द वर्ल्ड्स हैव चेंज्ड, एवरीथिंग. एंड बहुत ही सेंसिटिव डायलॉग्स हैं उस मूवी में कि बचपन में हमारा दिल बड़ा होता है तो हमें जगह भी बड़ी लगती है, और जब हम बड़े हो जाते हैं तो फिर हमें लगता है कि छोटी हो गई है जगह. छोटी नहीं होती है वो, बस हमारा एक विजन होता है बचपन में. तो वही चीज़ थी, वो जगह मुझे इतनी बड़ी लगती थी और इतनी सुंदर लगती थी, अभी भी है, बट वो मुझे सेम नहीं लगता है. आप कभी भी अलग अलग, इफ़ यू गो लाइक एट डिफरेंट फेजेस ऑफ योर लाइफ, things change. So even in Tintern Abbey, the poet goes to Tintern Abbey thrice in his life. Once in his childhood, once in his youth or adolescence, I think, and then once when he's a like complete adult. और तीनों बार उसको ऐसा लगता है कि वो किसी अलग जगह पे आया हुआ है. तो it was two different things but very complex. One was as if I was coming back to my childhood, and second was like I was looking at it from a very different perspective. So it had a deep impact. And also the people who were staying nearby, वो तब भी वहाँ रहते थे, जिन्होंने मुझे बड़े होते हुए देखा है. Like मुझे याद नहीं है कि मैंने कब होश संभाला, लेकिन उनको याद है, और वो आज भी वहाँ रह रहे हैं, मतलब आफ्टर लाइक 20 some years. And to have them recognize me by just looking at me, it was the same feeling how Shailaja was recognized by her friend when she was just roaming about in her colony in that movie. And उसकी फ्रेंड आती है पीछे से चिल्लाते हुए कि शैलजा, एंड फिर वो जो भी सिनेरियो है, इट वाज एग्जैक्टली सेम. And there is a church where I used to do all kinds of notorious things. And since I'm a Catholic, so I got my first Holy Communion in that church, and my cousins did as well. So I went to that church and I saw that place. I went to my school. I saw the same statues, little toys which were kept in the nursery के cupboards में. उसको मैंने 17 साल बाद देखा. मैं उसको पहली बार जब देख के जो मैं वंडर कर रही थी एज अ किड, you know, the creativity that comes into a kid's mind when they see it for the first time, I still remember. And when I saw it again, I was so teary eyed. And then I met my friends from school, which I never thought I would meet. It was huge. These are the people who have seen me doing the most random things in life. They have seen me through my first crush, all of that. And also, which I just did not expect, like, you know, the roads and everything was just so similar to that story. And one thing which was very, very surprising, ki usme it is mentioned that Shelja had a sister when she was young, and she had a few things which her memories were stuck because of that, and she just left randomly. So I almost broke down when I saw that scene, because I had a younger sister, or I was too small when I lost her. I must have been hardly 2 years old, so I don't remember much. But it is very mysterious how I remember that particular day when we didn't have her anymore. Like the next day, I remember asking my father, "Ki where is Pooja?" and he didn't say anything. I remember that very clearly. लेकिन उसके बाद और उसके पहले की चीज़ें मुझे इतनी याद नहीं है. तो it's very अजीब why I would remember that. So 17 years later, I went to that place where she was buried, and I didn't find her there because COVID के time पे there were too many people who were buried then. So her grave was not there anymore, which kind of gave me a closure that maybe she's in a place where she's happy and peaceful, and she's not here anymore. So there's no point looking for her over here. And it was such an impactful journey, even though it was like just 4 days. It changed me as a person when I came back. So when I saw this movie, I was like, ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है कि मेरी लाइफ किसी ने बिल्कुल उसी तरह उतार के रख दी है स्क्रीन पे. आई मीन, हाउ इज दैट इवन पॉसिबल? सो आई फेल्ट सो सीन एंड सो हर्ड, which is why when I am seeing the reviews, I can see it from a place which perhaps everyone has not experienced in the same way. So Shelja goes to this place after 28 years, and I went to my childhood place after around like 17, 18 years. So the impact was like she was 15 when she left, 15, 18 when she left that place, and then she came 28 years back के बाद. ठीक है, but uh, even if anyone is watching this movie, um, if you were one of those kids who has not been raised in just one place because of पापा या मम्मी के postings हर जगह होते रहते हैं, and you have not been to the previous places, so whenever you will, I'm just giving you a heads up कि these things will happen exactly how it is shown in the movie, and it is not even one fourth of what you will actually feel. So yeah, that was one of the things. Hi Jyoti. Yeah. So that, and another thing, I would request anybody watching this movie, although the storyline is that, but do not watch it from a place where you only keep in mind that this is a woman's story who is going through dementia, because ऐसा ज़रूरी नहीं है कि only if you are about to forget things would you want to remember them back. ऐसा ज़रूरी नहीं है. A lot of times you would just want to go back to your childhood. That's it, and it kind of can do wonders for you. Okay, it can simplify a lot of things in your life. So if there is ever a way to do that, always look for that way. And I was kind of at a point in my life where I thought that maybe मेरे अंदर का जो child है वो खत्म हो रहा है. I am growing up and I am becoming somebody. I'm becoming a complete adult, or maybe I would just lose my uh, child inside. So the child that I'm inside, so I went to that place and I felt it exactly the same way. So it's not necessarily that only if you're going through, so don't make it necessarily sad, because it is not. It is actually a very happy kind of a feeling and a very emotional experience. Second thing, is that a lot of people have mentioned that this lady Shelja was going through a परहैप्स नॉट सो हैप्पी मैरिड लाइफ, इसीलिए वो वहाँ पे गई थी अपने किसी लवर से मिलने. और ऐसा ज़रूरी नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं था. अगर वो हैप्पी मैरिज में भी होती तो भी, अगर इफ शी वांट्स टू रीलिव हर चाइल्डहुड, शी वुड एनीवे गो एंड शी वुड मीट एवरीवन हु वाज अ पार्ट ऑफ दैट स्टोरी, irrespective of, uh, what kind of life she's having currently. So that, and not necessarily take it from that point of view only, not just as a story, not just as the place, not just as how it is shown, but it is a very emotional kind of a movie. It is something you can experience, you will experience. So look at it from that point of view, look at it from more than what it is. In fact, I think this movie is very, very nice. It is like, it is an understatement if I try to sit and review. I have not tried to review the movie, I have just shared my own experience which I have had firsthand of this movie. This movie is an exact copy of what I have experienced 2 years back. And I have just reviewed the reviews of other people because I know they don't have a first hand experience, but it kind of just comes out of you when you look at people judging it from different perspectives, which is fine. Um, but actually not getting the real essence of it. So these are the two very important points which I think you should keep in mind while watching a movie. You can always have empathy for the characters, but it is not the only way to watch this movie. And there were symbolisms in the movie. For example, dementia वाले के लिए एक symbolism था कि when she's on the Ferris wheel, her husband asks the daughter of Ehlawat कि ऐसा कभी हुआ है कि तुम कुछ भूल गई हो, एंड शी सेज कि हाँ, मैं कभी कभी अपने कलर पेंसिल्स लेके जाना भूल जाती हूँ, एंड मैं बोल देती हूँ टीचर को कि मैं भूल गई। और वो कहता है कि और टीचर मान लेती है। तो शी इज़ लाइक हाँ, वो भी भूल जाती होगी ना। सो आई मीन इट्स द नॉर्मल सी ऑफ दीज थिंग्स। इट्स नॉट नेसेसरली कि कई बार हम अपनी लाइफ में बहुत सारी ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जो जानबूझ के भी भूल जाते हैं या फिर भुला देते हैं या फिर भूलना चाहते हैं कई बार, या फिर हम कई बार एक ऐसे पैटर्न में आ जाते हैं जहाँ पे एस्केपिज्म एक पैटर्न बन जाता है। तो कई बार it leaves a lot of things unresolved, so it is not necessarily someone who is going through a condition like that, but also कि तुम ऐसे पैटर्न में ना पड़ो। इसीलिए तुम्हें कई बार you have to go back sometimes inside yourself, you have to look, and sometimes back from where the source is, udgam, as said in the movie, and you have to resolve things. Even if you don't, even if there's nothing to resolve, let's say, then also it is always good because you come back as a different person. So that is how my experience was. So yeah, that's pretty much it. बहुत ज़्यादा कुछ खास बोलने के लिए नहीं था, बस जो एक एक्सपीरियंस थी वो शेयर करा मैंने। बहुत सारी चीज़ें लाइफ में बहुत अच्छी होती हैं, बट वो बहुत सिंपल होती हैं, तो हम कई बार उस चीज़ को वो तवज्जो नहीं दे पाते हैं जो कि उसको देनी चाहिए, जब तक कि वो बहुत फ्लैशी ना हो। और ये वो वन ऑफ दोज मूवीज़ है जो कि इतना फ्लैशी नहीं है, जो कि बहुत सिंपल है, बट इसको समझने वाली चीज़ है। अगर आप समझ लो तो आप काइंड ऑफ अपनी लाइफ की बहुत सारी चीज़ों को भी समझ लेते हो बहुत आसानी से। तो दैट इज़ वॉट आई वॉन्टेड टू शेयर। और मैं बहुत फ्री भी बैठी हुई थी ऑफिस के बाद, तो मैंने कर दिया शेयर। सो या, दैट्स इट, बाय। ये बंद कहाँ से होता है?